Good morning, everybody, from our nation's capital on this beautiful April day, and welcome to Hiring Our Heroes Career Connection. My name is Brian Alvarado, and today's programming is going to be full of really great information for our country's veterans, transitioning service members, and military spouses as you continue along your career journey. Starting us off this morning is a presentation from the Department of Defense's Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program. Our guest today is Lee Kelly, the Director of Military Community Support Programs within the Department of Defense. Good morning and welcome, Lee.
Thank you, Brian. I am so happy to be here.
We are happy to have you.
All right. Well, I am really excited to spend the next hour with you talking about military spouse education and employment resources provided through the Department of Defense. But first, I really want to make sure that this hour is useful to you. So if you're able to, I was wondering if you could chime in the chat pod and let me know at what point you are right now in your military life. Are you getting ready to depart the military community? Maybe your PCS orders have been frozen due to COVID-19, and you've got more time on your hands to look at your career opportunities projecting forward, or maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you're new to the military community and wondering what kind of resources are out there. I would really love to know at what point you are in your military life and what branch of service you're with. All the resources that I'll be sharing today are accessible to all branches of service, but I just love to know a little bit about who's out there in the audience. So anybody who wants to chime in, there's a chat pod in Zoom. Oh, I see Army veteran, great, working for a veterans nonprofit organization, Army spouse, PCS to Fort Rucker is frozen. Oh, that is tough. Plan on transitioning, yeah, from the Army. Wonderful. Army spouse, a lot of Army out there. Well, I'm not going to be biased, but I am an enlisted Army veteran myself and social worker. I work for the Office of Military Community and Family Policy within the Department of Defense. This is so great. I love to see the people chiming in. I'll talk a little bit about what my office does, and then I'm going to dive right in using this great information that the community is sharing right now in the chat pod. So my directorate is called Military Community Support Programs. We oversee three big and useful, I think, programs for DoD. We oversee Military One Source, as well as the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program, which I'll be really deep diving into today. And we oversee the Military and Family Life Counseling Program, the MFLAC program. It's been such an unusual time with COVID-19. We've been transitioning the MFLAC program to provide virtual telehealth support. Believe it or not, the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program has always been virtual. So those career coaches, if you've had a chance to call Military One Source and work with one of those career coaches have always worked from home. So it wasn't much of a transition for them, except maybe dealing with what so many of us are dealing with right now, having kids at home out of school. And how do you balance that? So we'll be touching on some resources that I hope will actually be helpful in that regard as well. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. So the access point for everything that I'm going to be talking about today is Military One Source. If you've never used it before, now is the perfect time. All of the Military One Source resources are virtually available. They're available via phone from anywhere around the world. The international dialing instructions are available at militaryonesource.mil, depending on the country that you're in. It's available via live chat. You can send an email even to Military One Source if you want to, but it really is intended to be that one-stop shop, and it's how you get to everything that I'll be talking about with the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program today. I love seeing where people are joining from too. That is so fun. So if you haven't shared your location, I'd love to keep an eye on that in the chat pod too. I see out in Washington State, I see Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Ooh, Colorado, Germany, wonderful. That was my first duty station, Heidelberg, Germany. I see Fort Bliss and Jacksonville. This is great. Italy. So I saw in the chat pod today a wide spectrum of points on a military life timeline. So I saw some that are maybe new to military life and some that are 2 years from transitioning out of the service or maybe just transitioned out of the service. So I want to really visit first who's eligible for the resources that I'll be talking about today. All active duty Guard and Reserve military spouses across the branches of service, regardless of activation status. Certainly, for sure, done deal, eligible for the services. The point that I think is really important to remember is for those who are transitioning, please know that you continue to be eligible for all these resources for a full year after you retire or separate from military life. Um, that's important because not a lot of people know that because it's still a relatively new change. It passed in the National Defense Authorization Act just 2 years ago, and so it's really some news that we want to get out because um, I promise you, it can save you hundreds of dollars your first year out of the service. As an Army veteran um, who did kind of get that wake up call on the amount of money that you have to spend when you leave the service, just kind of learning what it was that the Army paid for and what I would now have to pay for. I would have loved to have access to these free resources, and I'll talk about what's free. One thing, if you haven't yet filed your taxes, please know that Military OneSource will allow you to file your taxes for free for 1 federal and up to 3 state returns. Oh my goodness, this is people across the United States chiming in on the chat pod and around the world. Oh, this is yeah, it's I'm happy to be here with all of you in this very strange COVID-19 environment. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So I mentioned that we're a call center through Military OneSource, and I'll talk about the SECO call center, which you can access through that 800 number. Not many people know that we actually have state consultants across the United States as well. These state consultants work with the community, and they're very much working with the community right now. So you may actually know your Military OneSource state consultant, and they could be doing local webinars in your area as well. But these state consultants are available to do briefings and connect with military audiences across the country. Let's go to the next slide. So I am here to talk about spouse employment resources, I promise you. But I also believe that connecting a military spouse with an employment opportunity doesn't provide the total support that's needed to be successful in military life, which is why I really love to start by talking about the range of support provided through Military OneSource. And as I won't touch on every spoke on this wheel, but I will highlight the ones that I think can be real cost savers to you. And I know right now, I hear from military spouses who thought they were PCSing, left their job. They were a dual income family, and now they're a single income family. There's a lot of hardship right now. I'd say probably the top reason that we're getting calls to Military OneSource related to COVID-19 are for financial resources. So I do want to highlight the cost savings elements on this wheel right now, and also the ones that I think you may just not be aware of. So the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program is one of the top reasons that that we are contacted through Military OneSource. But really close to that is confidential non-medical counseling. I think that's an important one right now because we're all stuck in the house. COVID-19 is a stressful environment anyway. But you stick folks in the house that maybe aren't used to spending the entire day together all the time. It's not, it's totally normal to maybe reach out and look for a little stress relief or a little help problem solving. So confidential non-medical counseling is available through Military OneSource. The top reason people seek non-medical counseling through Military OneSource is for relationship support, followed by stress, followed by parent-child communications. So you might be experiencing 1, 2, or all 3 of those right now through a problem lens. And if so, please contact Military OneSource. We do video counseling, telephonic counseling, live chat counseling, and can work with families too. let me talk about a couple other spokes on this wheel as we go. The one that I mentioned already was the free tax filing. That can save you money. The document translation can also save a great deal of money. So if you're overseas and need to have birth certificate, school records translated, please don't pay out of pocket for that. Military OneSource will translate those documents at no cost. We also, I'll talk more about the SECO program and the $4,000 scholarship provided through the My Career Advancement Account Scholarship. Health and wellness coaching is also a great way to save money if you're just looking to de-stress or build a new routine, adapt a routine to fit COVID-19. Our master's level health and wellness coaches are really popular. I love them. I'm a little biased, but I really think they do amazing work with our community. We provide peer-to-peer support. So if you're just interested in talking with another military spouse and venting, letting some stress out, you can contact Military OneSource for that as well. We do elder care consultations if you're worried about older family members right now. We work with transitioning veterans and families, of course. We work with families with special needs. Our newest, one of our newest opportunities is for new military parents. I have two friends who recently gave birth, and I can't imagine having a new child in this environment and how stressful that has to be. So Military OneSource does now provide again, all these services are free, but a new military parent specialty consultation. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so this is what we're here to talk about today, spouse employment resources. And I'll keep an eye on the chat pod for questions if you have them as we go. We'll also open it up for Q&A that Brian will moderate at the end of this session today. And I'll keep an eye on time to make sure that I'm saving time for Q&A. But if I see a question pop up that I can tie into the slide, I will definitely do that. I want this to be engaging and also useful to you. So if there's a question out there that you are seeking to get answered right now, I want to make sure that I touch upon it. Let's see here. My slide deck just went away for some reason. Okay. Well, I remember which one that I'm on. So we will go to that. So the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program is operated through a call center. And I mentioned that it's a virtually accessible call center. You can also live chat those spouse education and career opportunities career coaches. The piece that I like the most about our coaches is that they're available 6 days a week. So they're available Monday through Saturday, and they're available until 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and they start at 7 a.m. I think that's really important for our military spouses around the world. From a time zone perspective, I think it's important, but also from the perspective that it's just hard to get some time to ourselves sometimes. And to have that opportunity to maybe after the kids go to bed, to really take time for yourself, to take a look at your resume with someone who has that skill set. And you have the time and space and not the background noise to do it, I think can be of great value. Also, all day on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., those career coaches are also at work. I'm going to take just a second here and see if I can get my slide deck back. So I apologize, but I also want to be able to see your chat pods. So let's see here. Yeah, Brian, I apologize. I'm just going to try to do this so that I see what's going on here. Okay, I'm back and I can see the slides again. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so the myseco.militaryonesource.mil website is the portal to go to access the resources that I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to open my chat pod again too. So Victoria, I apologize. I missed your question and I see that you're referencing the semester. So if you'd ask that again, my chat pod was closed when I restarted here. The myseco.militaryonesource.mil website is the portal to go to for all of our free career assessments, as well as our scholarship finder, where you can find nonprofits and companies who've committed to funding military spouse education. Um, and I also see just a question that I definitely want to make sure that I address as I'm talking here. Um, Yes. So our career coaches absolutely can help a military spouse build a resume based on volunteer experience, and also advise on the type of resume that best fits, depending on a military spouse's kind of maybe gaps in jobs. So sometimes a functional resume will be more beneficial than a chronological resume. Our career coaches can definitely talk to you about that. I do want to talk a little bit about MySECO from the career assessment perspective. Is anybody out there looking to just have like 90 seconds of, we're not going to do it right now, but in general, 90 seconds of fun and learn something about yourself? 90 seconds. Anybody interested? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat pod. Sure. Okay. So this is my advice to you after this webinar today. Please go to myseco.militaryonesource.mil, log in, and take the Tradeify career assessment. It is by far, we just launched it in the fall, and it is wildly popular. It is by far our most popular career assessment. I love it because it is 90 seconds, but not just because it's 90 seconds. I love it because I actually feel like after I take it, I do walk away with a little bit more insight into my personal strengths than I had 90 seconds prior. And believe it or not, the way that the Tradeify career assessment works is that it shows you two images. So it's imagery based. So it will say, is this you or is this you? And you just kind of say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And at the end, it's scientifically informed, and it offers you some insights that I think can be really valuable in a career journey. So really encourage you to take Tradeify and let us know what you think. I mentioned the resume builder, and that the resume builder through MySECO does provide different templates depending on what's going to be the best fit for you. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide and talk about another really core component of DoD's spouse employment programs. And this is also accessible through myseco.militaryonesource.mil. So if you've got some time, if you're stuck inside and want to really explore some career resources, oh, can we go to a slide previously? Sorry, I think we went to my CAA. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we go to the next slide? And the next slide. Okay, I'll back up and talk about my CAA, but I had just started talking about MSEP, so I'll stick with that. So the Military Spouse Employment Partnership is accessible through the MySECO website. And if you're wondering, what is this partnership and why should it matter to me during my career journey? Please know that it is made up of more than 430 companies, nonprofits, federal agencies, corporations committed to recruiting, hiring, promoting, and retaining military spouses. How do we know that they have that commitment? Well, we check in with them about once a month, and we support them in connecting them with military spouses like you. So this is everybody from Starbucks, Walmart, Microsoft, to more regional entities, to healthcare companies, to hospitals, to IT. Google is a partner, as is LinkedIn, and certainly the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation and Hiring Our Heroes. They're probably our very first partner in the MSEP initiative, which launched in 2011. We've hired more than 142,000 spouses through the Military Spouse Employment Partnership. And my favorite thing right now that we do is, if you go into MySECO and you go into the candidate resume search, so when you build your resume in the MySECO portal, you can opt in to have your resume searched by MSEP partners. And I really believe that everybody should do this. We've got probably more than 120,000 spouses who've created profiles on the MySECO website. About 64,000 have opted into the resume search. The resume search is really valuable to partners because it allows them to geo-target a little bit so they can, this is all information that you've opted into providing to them, but they can search by zip code. And you're also able to indicate the zip code that you're in and the zip code that you're moving to. So if you're in the middle of a PCS, you can be searching in a multitude of different areas, and the partners are able to look at who's available and reach out and connect for job opportunities. So I'm a big fan of opting into that candidate resume search through MSEP. And I'm a huge fan of the partnership to begin with, because I think we have some really innovative partners out there. Amazon, for example, has actually, while some companies may be having to do layoffs or cutting back on hiring, others are actually having to increase. And Amazon's certainly one of them. And we've been promoting the Amazon opportunities on the Military One Source Facebook page and the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Facebook page as well. Let's back up to MyCAA now, the previous slide. Okay, so MyCAA, if we're thinking about the components that make up the DoD Spouse Education and Career Opportunities program, it's really 4 components. It's our Career Center and those virtually accessible career coaches. It's the Military Spouse Employment Partnership. It's the myseco.militaryonesource.mil website, and it's this $4,000 scholarship for military spouses. So the My Career Advancement Account Scholarship is for our more junior military spouses. So it's for active duty military spouses married to service members in pay grades E1 through E5, O1 through O2, and W1 through W2. A really cool change with the latest National Defense Authorization Act is the fact that if you're a military spouse and you started using MyCAA when your service member was an E5 and they get promoted to E6, you no longer get punished for that promotion. So with the passage of the NDAA, you can continue using the rest of your MyCAA funding. I think MyCAA is a great way to jumpstart education, obtain a certification, obtain an associate's degree. If you're eligible for the funding and you're trying to figure out the best way to spend your money, contact a career coach, because that's all they do all day long is work with military spouses. They work with every military spouse who uses the scholarship, and they can be a huge treasure trove of information to help you understand what your options are. Never just go online and pick the first school that advertises MyCAA. Access the free expertise of these career coaches to figure out, how am I going to get the most bang for my scholarship dollars? That is my top recommendation. I hate to talk with a military spouse who uses the funding and didn't quite get what they wanted out of it. What you should get out of it is a great educational experience, but one that leads to the employment that you're interested in. And our career coaches can really help you zero in on that. Let's go to the next slide. And I am keeping an eye on the chat pod for questions. So please do chime in with any questions that you might have. I did see Victoria chime in saying that she's BA, I think, in healthcare and wondering what to do next. I can't, I'm probably going to at some point sound like a little bit of a broken record, but I can't emphasize how important I think it is to get a career coach of your own and to access one of these free ones through DoD. You can connect with the same career coach as many times as you need to. We offer career coaching packages, and a career coaching package is the chance to work with a career coach at times that are convenient for you around a journey that you are interested in. So for example, we have an entrepreneurial coaching package. We've had military spouses that have worked with the same career coach for like 2 years, who've started their own small business, and they're really just looking for an accountability partner. So that career coach can help them set goals, keep them accountable to those goals, and really help them achieve what they want to in their small business journey. We offer career coaching packages in different industries, be it tech, be it healthcare, be it federal employment, be it re-entering the job market. And so I really think it's important to get your own career coach, and because only going to be able to get what you, I think, the most that you need out of a career, um, out of a resource, if that resource is individualized for you. So I'm really excited that you're here today. Um, but without understanding, your background, where you come from, your educational experience, your employment journey, what you need for from a work-life balance perspective, I'm never going to be able to give you the best, most strategic advice possible in your career journey. But these career coaches can, because they get the chance to work with you one-on-one, and you get to share your perspective with them. So that is my top recommendation there. Yes, everything I talk about is free. So I saw that question pop in there. Yes, so this is DoD. I work for the Department of Defense. Department of Defense, this is free. So everything I talk about is free, no cost to any of these resources. And I'm still keeping, so I see, are we still eligible for this if we are a veteran and a mil spouse? Yeah, any military spouse is absolutely eligible for this. So if you're, so it sounds like you're a veteran, you're out of the service, and your spouse is still in the service and you're a military spouse. Yes, you are still, you're absolutely eligible. Any resources available for retired military spouses? Great question. So I mentioned at the very beginning that our resources are available for 12 months post-separation or retirement. Great time to take advantage during that transition, which can come with a lot of uncertainty, especially right now. But then let's say you're past those 12 months. You're a retired military spouse and you're looking, how do you leverage your career journey now? What next steps can you take? Well, a couple things would come to mind. We have so much information and content that's publicly available through myseco.military1source.mil, and you're absolutely welcome to engage there. And the other really important thing that we do through the MySECO website is link to our partners. So Brian is one of our partners with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation and Hiring Our Heroes. And so what we'll do on MySECO is write all about Brian's resources. We'll also write all about the resources of the Military Officers Association of America and National Military Family Association, and all these different nonprofits who are committed to supporting military spouse employment journeys and may not have the same constraints that we do regarding access to resources. So we never want to not provide a resource. So regardless, if you come to our program, we're going to make sure that you get a resource that answers the mail for what you need, regardless of your eligibility status. I'm keeping an eye here on some questions, and I'm also going to try to make sure that I don't miss going through my slides too. Right now I'm going to pause and talk about the virtual military spouse symposium. This is the slide that's up here now. This is the 4th year we're doing this event, and it's the most popular event that we do all year long. So if you've never done it before, COVID-19 environment might be a great time to check this one out. The Virtual Military Spouse Symposium, it takes place April 29th and 30th, kind of all-day sessions. Go to the website to get registered. Typically, this is the 4th year we're doing it. Typically, we get between 1,000 and 2,000 participants, and we get representation from between like 10 and 15 countries. So it's a really cool collaborative chance to connect online. One of my favorite things to do is see the chat pod during the VMSS and see like spouses in Korea getting up at odd times to join these sessions, and then chit-chatting among themselves in between sessions and kind of making those virtual connections. It's really neat to see. But the VMSS is really, these are some engaging sessions. We really we don't just bring our A game, we ask all of our partners to bring their A game too. So we'll have sessions that certainly focus on areas of interest for military spouses, former military spouse of the year and small business owner Lakeisha Cole. We'll be doing a session on entrepreneurship. We'll certainly be doing a deep dive on federal employment and federal resumes. We'll have a really compelling session with Google. I'm really excited that we'll be closing out the VMSS this year with a Facebook Live interview with Taya Kyle. Taya is the executive director and founder for the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation, and they do a lot of work in strengthening relationships within the military community and within the home. And again, I can't stress how important I think it is that we not just come together as a community to support military spouses gaining employment, but also just supporting the entire family. Work-life balance is hard. Military life can be challenging. Just to be able to normalize that and say, yeah, we could all use a little bit of help some days. So Tia Kyle will be talking about her perspective on relationships and how you can achieve that work-life balance, and what Chris Kyle Frog Foundation does in support of strengthening those relationships. So I really encourage you to register for this. I hope to see you in the classrooms during the symposium this year. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, this is probably, oh gosh, what would I say? I think it's probably up there as far as a cost savings with the free tax prep through Military OneSource. It's probably akin to that. Because if you were to Google how much a LinkedIn Premium account costs, I think it's upwards of several $100s a year. And you can get it for free. So let me tell you how. So through a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Defense, LinkedIn has committed to giving every military spouse a free year of access to LinkedIn Premium. That's regardless of activation status, so Guard, Reserve, Active Duty. So you get that 1 year, and then every time you PCS, you get another year, which is awesome. LinkedIn Premium, I had no idea when I first learned about this what LinkedIn Premium really does. So LinkedIn Premium not only kind of gives you those advanced analytics on your profile, who's viewed your profile, kind of more in-depth data there. The coolest thing that the LinkedIn Premium account does is give you access to LinkedIn Learning. That's more than 12,000 online courses for free. That's 12,000. And these courses have a cost associated with them. So you can get your project management certification for free through LinkedIn. So there's some real tangible value here. So you might be wondering, how do I access my free year of LinkedIn Premium? I'll tell you, there's a few different ways you can access it. So you can call Military OneSource, talk with a career coach, set up a session. They'll kind of walk you through the ins and outs of the LinkedIn Premium resource, and then they'll give you a code. And that's your code to get access to that free year of LinkedIn Premium. The second way to do it is attend one of our scheduled webinars, where again, a career coach is going to walk you through the ins and outs of LinkedIn Premium, and then you can get your code. The third way is on demand. So if you say to yourself, I don't want to wait for the webinar, I don't really have time to pick up the phone and make an appointment to talk with a career coach, you can do it yourself. You can do it yourself through my SECO. You'll do an on-demand kind of little webinar. And again, it's just going to walk you through LinkedIn Premium, what it's all about, and you'll get your code. So those are 3 ways to get your code to get that free year of access to LinkedIn Premium. I'm a huge fan of the LinkedIn Learning courses, and our career coaches are too. So if you have questions about, hey, I got my LinkedIn Premium account, this is what I ultimately want to do for my career, what's in LinkedIn Premium that could help me? Our career coaches can help you flag the courses that may be most advantageous to you right now. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So I want to take a little bit of time. I'm keeping an eye on the clock here because I know we want to wait. We want to make sure we have time for questions at the end, but I don't want to miss out on sharing with you some resources that I think are particularly beneficial in this COVID-19 environment. So we talked about the Military One Source website. I'm taking a scan down this slide. I don't think anything else on here that I really need to touch upon right now, except to foot stomp the fact that we have secure live chat. I'll tell you, every month, even before COVID-19, every month the live chat numbers increase. And I think the live chat numbers increase because it's an easy way to discreetly take care of a question that you might have. Maybe you don't want your coworkers overhearing you on the phone. Um, Maybe you just don't want to deal with talking to another human being, although right now I think many of us are particularly enjoying those connections. Secure live chat lets you kind of take care of things through Military One Source easily and online. Let's go to the next slide, because this is where I'm going to, I think, start getting into those resources that I think you can have some fun with now. I think they benefit you in your career journey, and I think they can be a real cost savings for you. So when most folks read the title, the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Digital Library, it may not mean much to them. Has anyone ever used this before? I want to keep an eye on the chat pod here. Has anyone ever used the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Digital Library on militaryOneSource.mil? I see no's, and I'm not surprised by the no's. Yes, I know. Because why? What reason would you have to use? Oh, good. I see some yeses. Good. So from the yeses, what did you? I would love to know what you used. Oh, good. So I see some yeses and no's. So let's from all the yeses, let's educate all the no's. So if you're a no, please know that you can get free subscriptions to newspapers, to magazines. Please stop paying monthly subscription fees for so many different news outlets and services that are provided at no cost because you're a member of the military community. So you can access the MWR Digital Library. And did you know you can literally learn to play guitar through the digital library? So there are artist works music lessons. Maybe your teenager wants to learn guitar or piano. You can do that. Again, so you might be here because of your career journey, but we all need some stress relief right now. We all need a chance to just take a time out and focus on ourselves and our families. And so here's some fun, free ways to do that. Wonderful. Mango Languages I see popping up. That's fantastic. So Mango Languages, learn a foreign language. Another really, I know I saw guitar classes. What? I know, guitar classes. Yes, through Artist Works music lessons. The one that I think is so fun is Ancestry Library Edition. So are you an Ancestry buff? Do you like to know all about your family tree? No cost here through the MWR Digital Library. And pretty soon, I'll tell you, this is going to be big, great news. And maybe I'm telling you first for the very first time. But please know that we offer some Tutor.com services, and we'll actually be expanding those right now through Military One Source. We'll be announcing the expansion, but you can plug into the MWR Digital Library and Military One Source to access no-cost Tutor.com services. This can be so beneficial right now for any folks at home, maybe struggling on working on homework with their kids. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Educational products. So this is another one that I just wanted to make sure that you not miss out on if it's of help right now or anytime. So militaryOneSource.mil and the Military One Source program operates a fulfillment center. That fulfillment center is stocked with educational materials and products. There's no cost for any of the products, and there's no cost to ship them to you. So you can go on to the fulfillment center. Just again, you're logging on to Military One Source and you're searching for products, and you can have products that you think are going to help you and your family ship to you. You'll see that's a great question from Maureen on Tutor.com, expand to more than K-12. Maureen, I would say to stand by for the announcement. I don't think so, but I would stand by for the announcement from Military One Source about what that expansion is going to entail. I think that's a great question. So I want to highlight the most popular item that the community orders through Military One Source. Has anyone ever heard of a Military One Source chill drill? Maybe you're working on your federal resume and you're getting really frustrated. And you're just like, oh my goodness, please, I just need a second or a minute to myself. Maybe the kids are running around. Please go on and order a chill drill. It's this really fantastic self-enclosed MP3 player. So it's a little box and it comes with an MP3 player and it's 6 tracks of relaxation or mindfulness. And the 6 tracks are focused on different things. So it could be falling asleep. There's a track that's really popular with service members called easing back pain. I even hear that it helps military kids go to sleep sometimes because it's just a really nice calming voice. It comes with the battery and the earbuds, which is really neat. So you don't have to be, oh, do I have an extra battery? Where are my earbuds? It's totally self-contained because military communities on the go, you need to have things that can travel with you. MP3 player is probably the most, it's called a chill drill. Good question, Charles. It's a military one source chill drill. So you can order the MP3 player, or you can, if you don't want to wait, you can download the tracks right now on militaryonesource.mil. You can also, if you're a new military family, just had a child maybe, or maybe you know your neighbor did. Maybe you're in this COVID-19 environment and your neighbor just had a new baby and you want to support them, but you don't have a lot of extra money. Well, go to Military One Source and order some of the baby wheels. Or talk to a triage consultant through Military One Source and ask what they would suggest shipping to that new family. There's Sesame Street DVDs. There are children's books. Again, no cost. These are intended for the military community. They're intended for you, and all you need to do to access them is go online or pick up the phone and call the call center and ask them for their advice on what would be good for you in the current situation or scenario that you're facing. And I think we might be closing in on the end of the slide deck. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so I think just a couple more slides here. This is another a fun one that you may not be tracking. Has anyone ever heard of our mobile resilience tools like Mood Hacker, Coach Hub, or Love Every Day? Oh, so Nina's asking the number again for LinkedIn Premium. The easiest way would be to connect with a career coach and call 1-800-342-9647. That's just the Military One Source main number. That's it's at the bottom of the screen here, 1-800-342-9647, my favorite 800 number. So if you've never done a mobile resilience tool through Military One Source, let me tell you a little bit about these. Virtual tools right now are gaining popularity with everyone stuck at home. And the three ones that we offer through Military One Source are Mood Hacker, Coach Hub, and Love Every Day. Again, you're in your job search, you need a break. Maybe you're snapping at your spouse and you just need a little bit of a timeout. Check out one of these resilience tools. The Mood Hacker is a self-management tool, like it says. It just helps you to track your mood each day and try to make those connections between your mood and what's happening. You know, what's happening outside, what's happening in your life. You can then share that data if you want to through Coach Hub and have an online coach help you identify some of the patterns and maybe identify some good stress management tips and goals. But my favorite one, I'm really biased here, is Love Every Day. I've done this one and it's great. So Love Every Day is a mobile resilience tool. It's 21 days. You enter your phone number, your partner enters their phone number, and each day you get a text prompt to answer the same question. And after you both answer the question, then you get to see each other's feedback. And it's a great way to get out of the cycle of, do we need to go to the store? Who's helping the kids with the homework? Are you going to walk the dog? Do we have milk? Where's the milk? Kind of get out of the habit of those questions that can dominate us in everyday routines and get back to thinking about, what connects you within your relationship, at its core. So I love those tools. And I think, I think that if you're in the spouse employment journey, you've really got to be also taking into account self-care. The career journey can be stressful. And if you're not taking care of yourself, I know for me, if I'm not taking care of myself, then I'm not going to achieve the career goals that I want to achieve. Let's go to the next slide. So we love our feedback at Military One Source. So just wanted to share a little bit of the customer feedback that we get. We get about 500 compliments a month through the program. And certainly if anyone, has, we also get, that's not to say we don't get any complaints. We don't get a lot, but for those that we get, we re-engage with service members and families and community members to figure out how can we answer the question or the issue that was brought forward and not resolved. But I am just sharing some of the positive comments that we've received, and oftentimes that last one is the one that I hear the most. Every time I call, I learn about more resources. I always wish I knew sooner. I hear that all the time. Let's go to the next slide. You'll see this on the front page of our website. This is our promise, and it's not many organizations make promises these days. Maybe they have vision statements or mission statements, but we really like the promise. We like the promise of being there 24/7. We like the promise of being confidential, and we like the promise of ensuring that no matter what you're calling us about, you're going to get connected. So even if you're calling us about a service that we don't provide, we're going to make sure you get to where you need to go. Let's go to the next slide. I guess that's a good question. Is there a next slide? Okay, so that was the last slide. Our promise, and this has been such a pleasure to watch the chat pod. I'm going to ask Brian to moderate any questions that he's seen pop in.
Yeah, I'd like to get to some of those questions, but one thing I'd like to revisit with you, Lee, is the importance of MSEP. The military spouse employment journey is one full of barriers, challenges, doors slammed in our faces. Can you talk a little bit about where we could find the list of those employment partners, mainly because that's going to be a soft landing space for us military spouses, right? We're going to those companies because we know that they are military spouse ready to hire military spouses. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you for saying that. So if you want to find the list of the more than 430 companies committed to recruiting, hiring, promoting, and retaining military spouses in oftentimes portable job opportunities, go to myseco.militaryOneSource.mil and click on MSEP. So there you're going to find the list of companies. My most go-to place is to find the full PDF list of companies and look at the ones that, if you're interested in telework job opportunities that you can work from home, we'll annotate those on the PDF. So you'll see the full list of companies with a little computer icon next to the companies that offer portable opportunity, that offer some telework. That doesn't mean to say that all of those companies with the computer icon are 100% telework or work from home, but they deserve a little bit more research if you are interested in them in a portable job opportunity, or call one of the career coaches who can help walk you through that as well. These companies work with us, as I said, like we touch base with them every month, but we literally bring them together once a year. So every fall we bring them together for a partner meeting. These companies get so amped up and energetic about engaging each other around recruitment strategies for military spouses. Like, how do we find military spouses? I need this skill set. What are you doing to market your opportunities? So it's really a very energizing experience to see them once a year, but to see their continued commitment is awesome too. And two places after we part ways today, two places that if you're like, okay, I got the list, but now I really want to see them in action. Like, what are these MSEP partners even saying out there? The two places that I would go would be our Military Spouse Employment Partnership LinkedIn group. So we've got the LinkedIn group where partners engage and post job opportunities. And we've got our Facebook Live events through the Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program, where you can hear from partners, and they'll engage directly during MSEP Connect events, and they'll answer questions. And I've seen really great interactions occur during those Facebook Lives where a recruiter will give their email address to military spouses in the audience who might be a good fit, and then they actually lead to employment opportunities, which is the best case scenario. And and through our partners with Hiring Our Heroes, so many of these companies are in this collaborative military spouse employment space. So Hiring Our Heroes has incredibly innovative ways to engage companies as well. One really, my Brian, I hate to say this, but I have a favorite Hiring Our Heroes program, and it's the Corporate Spouse Fellowship. I am obsessed with the Corporate Spouse Fellowship. So if you don't know what this is, I highly encourage you to go to hiringourheroes.org and look up the Spouse Fellowship. Because what these companies have done is commit to a 6-week fellowship opportunity with a military spouse. Hiring Our Hero, you have to apply for the opportunity, and you are placed. But Hiring Our Heroes provides a stipend for military spouses, so you're not just volunteering time to this company. But I won't say what your placement rates are, Brian, but your placement rates are extraordinarily high from the fellowship. So taking part in this fellowship actually results in employment in the majority of cases, which is such a good news story. So these companies, they talk the talk, but I think the reason that Brian and I work with them is because they walk the walk too.
That is very true. And I will take a moment and brag on our Military Spouse Fellowship Program and its 88% placement rate. So it is an incredible program. The team that works on that from the Hiring Our Heroes Military Spouse Program is incredibly dedicated to not only that spouse journey, but also developing relationships with these organizations and companies and showing the true value of what a military spouse can bring to the table through a business case. So thank you for that. I want to get to a couple other questions. One that I've seen several times is there a way for the attendees to get a copy of your slide deck with all of the great information?
Sure, absolutely. Brian, you're welcome to share it or tell me if you need it in a different format. But yeah, without a doubt, that slide deck is open to anyone that would benefit from it.
Okay, we'll make sure that we get it out to everybody then. We do have a couple other questions that were good. One I saw a couple times was, can we connect with you through LinkedIn?
Me?
Yes.
That would like literally make my day. So if you want to make my day, connect with me on LinkedIn.
I want to revisit. There is a question in the Q&A that says, "Do we have to pay for the LinkedIn courses?" So let's just kind of revisit that process for LinkedIn Premium.
Yeah. As I shared at the beginning, DoD, we only put out free resources. So the reason we're able to have this great partnership is because LinkedIn came to us and said, we will give a free year of LinkedIn Premium access to military spouses upfront, and then we'll give them another year at the time for each PCS. So that's a lot of LinkedIn Premium access. But with that free access, the courses are free too. And that's why I think it's the value add. I think you're saving the hundreds of dollars there by accessing the LinkedIn Premium LinkedIn Learning courses. And that's why I really believe it's so worth taking advantage of. Even if you're not quite sure how you're going to use it, work with a career coach and find out a little bit more about how it can be a value add to you.
Yeah, that's really great. And just because there have been people talking about being a retired spouse or a veteran spouse, I will add on that if you have ever been a military spouse and had your career affected by your service members' service to our nation, you're always welcome at Hiring Our Heroes programming. And through our joint partnership with LinkedIn as well, all spouses who attend an Amplify program this year are also eligible for a free year of LinkedIn Premium.
That's awesome.
And if you check hiringourheroes.org/events, you will find that we are doing 3 virtual Amplifies over the next 3 months to accommodate the current climate. But if you are a spouse of a veteran or a retiree past that 1 year, you can join an Amplify program through Hiring Our Heroes and get that 1 year of LinkedIn Premium.
That is so great.
So a couple other questions I want to run past you is do we have to register through MSEP to get a career coach?
No, getting a career coach is so easy. Um, I mean, I think one of the most straightforward ways to do it is to literally pick up the phone and just call Military One Source, 1-800-342-9647. Like I challenge everyone. Oops, that's my daughter there. Okay. I challenge everyone to pick up their smartphone. And I got my little Military One Source pop socket on the back. So you can also call Military One Source for a pop socket and plug it into their phone now so you have it when you need it. But it's that 1-800-342-9647 number to get a career coach. You can also live chat through myseco.militaryonesource.mil and set up an appointment. What's going to happen is you're going to talk to a career advisor, and that career advisor is going to set you up with an appointment at time of your convenience. I think right now our appointments are going out about 5 to 7 days. But there's also pop-ups that due to cancellation. So if you really need to work with a career coach sooner, just let the career advisor know that, and they can work with you to get that scheduled. But that's like, it's really straightforward. You don't have to register first. You can just call in or live chat. If you go in and register on the MySECO website, that's a great idea because then you have access to all those free career assessments. The Myers-Briggs is also can be an expensive career assessment. You can get that for free as well. But it really is straightforward and as easy as picking up the phone or going to the website.
Excellent. We do have a unique question talking about becoming a career coach. Can you talk about that? And then specifically, what credentials do you need to be a career coach?
Yeah. Oh, such a great question. Well, if you want to be a career coach, I highly recommend connecting with one of our career coaches. I'll say that first and foremost, because they can talk about the trajectory that maybe they took and a little bit about the certifications that they have. So we have a number of different certifications within the call center. National Certified Counselor, the NCC is one, and the other one is escaping me at the moment. But our career coaches have a couple different certifications. A couple other things I wanted to say about our career coaches. Just like the Military One Source team at the larger Military One Source program, many of our career coaches and career advisors have a military affiliation, meaning they themselves are military spouses or veterans or have a military family member. So they really understand the community. So I think that's another reason why working with a career coach, if you're interested in being a career coach, can be really advantageous. I'll tell you that the Military Spouse Employment Partnership, more than 430 companies. The company that right now that runs our career center is called Ziders Enterprises, and they're, not surprisingly, a member of the Military Spouse Employment Partnership. So if you're specifically interested in becoming a career coach with Military One Source, you can look for opportunities through Ziders Enterprises, and guess where Ziders Enterprises posts their opportunities? Through the Military Spouse Employment Partnership Spouse Group on LinkedIn. There we go.
Excellent. Well, I think I've caught most of them, but if you have any other questions, like Lee said, please connect with her or I or both of us on LinkedIn and message us questions that you may have. This has been an incredibly informative a morning, and I want to take a moment and thank Lee for joining us. These programs are truly priceless for our military community, and we really appreciate the Department of Defense's partnership with Hiring Our Heroes, and the marriage between our two programs is incredibly important for our spouse employment journeys. So thank you very much for your time. And for our audience, stay tuned. Later today at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have LinkedIn for veterans and military spouses. So that's a great opportunity to do a deep dive into your LinkedIn for veterans and military spouses. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have a special presentation with the Wounded Warrior Project called Warriors to Work. So thank you all for joining us. Again, thank you, Lee, and the Department of Defense for all of your hard work. And we will see you later on.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.